Over a decade ago, back in 2008, Warner Brothers announced that they were making 2 new movies based on The Hobbit. I was a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings movies, and although we were making LEGO games at the time, I really wanted to make a Hobbit video game to release alongside the movie, not a LEGO game, a movie tie-in instead. Later in the year, it was decided that we could pitch our Hobbit tie-in idea to Peter Jackson and to Guillermo del Toro, who was attached to direct the movie at the time. We'd have 6 months or so to prepare a demo, and then we'd pitch it to them in New Zealand in February 2009. I was a firm believer that film tie-ins should recreate the movie as closely as possible to give the player the experience of living the movie, so I decided our playable demo should demonstrate this using Lord of the Rings as a template. So we set out to turn key moments from Lord of the Rings into the best playable demos of what we could achieve on the then current gen Xbox 360. Then we could show this as an example to Peter Jackson of what we could do with his new movies. The problem was, it all got a little out of hand. I can't remember if I decided we should pitch to make a Lord of the Rings game as well or not, and I certainly have found some very early design documents of a Lord of the Rings game. But whatever the reasons, we ended up making 4 different fully playable and polished levels and 5 additional tech demos. The first full level was set by the River Horwell and was a demonstration of free-roaming stealth gameplay. Playing as Frodo, you could sneak, hide, throw rocks to distract the Uruk-hai, climb trees, use your senses to focus in on enemies, jump from trees onto enemies, and even try and fight them directly against the odds. The second full level was the Isengard fight between Gandalf and Saruman. You could cast spells, deflect attacks, and throw Saruman around the room. The third level was another stealth level, this time set in Deep Hallow Woods, as Frodo tries to avoid the Black Rider. If you got spotted, you would have to avoid the temptation of putting on the ring. And the last full level was Gandalf versus the Balrog at Khazad Dûm. Considering this was all running on the Xbox 360, I think it holds up pretty well over a decade later. In addition to these fully playable levels, there was a demo of Aragorn fighting Uruk-hai at Amon Hen that showed how the combat would work, Frodo and Sam at Weathertop trying to avoid the Nazgul and showing Frodo using the ring, a tech demo showing how many AI enemies we could process for the prologue Sauron battle, Frodo and Sam wandering about in the Shire, and a quick sequence in Rivendell showing us using motion capture to recreate moments from the film. So we basically went way too far and spent way too much money making this demo, but I really wanted to show what we could do beyond just the LEGO games. So, in February 2009, I packed my Xbox 360 into a backpack and flew from the UK to New Zealand to pitch to Jackson and Del Toro. It took 39 hours to get there, and I was only in New Zealand for 2 days. I had the worst jet lag ever, but got to meet them and had a tour of the Weta Studios as well, so totally worth it. The demo went fine, didn't crash or anything, and Guillermo in particular was super positive and very excited by it. The feedback we received was that they were happy for us to make a live-action Hobbit game. So why didn't it ever see the light of day? In the end, Warner Brothers decided that they wanted a game that wasn't based directly on the movie, but happened in the same world at the same time. I disagreed with that approach, as I felt you could release a movie-based game with the movie, and then do a game set in the same world as a sequel down the line. I've no idea if internal politics played a role in the decision or not, but in the end the game was never greenlit. However, I ended up pretty happy with that decision, as the movie was delayed a year, which would have meant we'd have had to work a year longer on the game. Del Toro left the movie, and the movie didn't end up in the same league as the original Lord of the Rings movies. And besides, we got to make LEGO Hobbit and LEGO Lord of the Rings in any case. Well, I hope you enjoyed this look at the most expensive pitch demo I've ever made. Let me know in the comments if you want to see full playthroughs of the various sections, and as always, please like, subscribe and click that bell so I feel loved. Till next time, goodbye.